Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today in our live. I am looking forward to today's topic, which is how to cultivate healthy relationship habits. And today, we have joining us is certified ascension coach Christina and long-term community members Katie and um, Lydia, and then I am Kanisha. And we're going to really just be focusing on really part of the ascension journey is having healthy relationships with our twin flame, but also it shows up in every relationship on the ascension journey. It becomes just part of the process of how to have a interdependent relationship and releasing codependent relationships. And so today we're really going to focus on kind of how to cultivate those habits and how to release and let go of beliefs and habits that no longer align with a healthy relationship. And to start that off, we were kind of discussing on how important boundaries are when it comes to having a healthy relationship. And that also flows into really honoring, valuing, and respecting yourself. And so for me, I had been in multiple relationships in my past where boundaries were not a thing because I was not taught that as a child. And so I didn't know how to implement that into my relationships. But it wasn't until I came into a relationship with my true twin flame where he actually invited me to have and set healthy boundaries with him. And that actually really triggered me because that was not something I was ever invited into or had someone value or love me enough to even invite me into that space.
Yeah, I want to share that a healthy relationship habit that has been really important for me on my ascension journey is healing in that space of connection and really trusting your feelings and allowing yourself to feel your feelings is extremely supportive to be able to have a healthy connection with other people because if you're not feeling your feelings, if you're numbed out to your feelings, then you're not really going to be able to meet your twin flame or other people in a space of real connection, right? It's going to feel superficial. It's going to feel yeah, like surface level.
And I want to talk about space in a romantic relationship. At least from like my experience, having space from your partner is automatically like, oh no, there's something wrong. Like we're not like we're gonna break up or like, they're gonna leave me. But something that I really learned on my ascension journey is that I do need that space to like go inward and like feel my feelings. And when you're really heated or triggered, it's really easy to kind of just like speak from what you're feeling at that time. And you're not actually like really feeling like what is actually upsetting you. And so space, whether that's like going into your room or going for a walk, you can like claim like your own independence and be like, hey, like listen, like I need to take a moment or I just need some space so that I can process my feelings. And you can grant yourself that clarity.
Yeah, you really touch on something that's really actually truly vital in order to have healthy relationships. The healthy relationship starts with you and having those boundaries with yourself and really learning to allow myself to show up for me and love me the way that I want my healthy relationships to show up and love me back. And I recognize that after having many, many horrible relationships, that I was the common denominator of all of them. And so I had to take full responsibility of the fact that if I am the co-creator of my reality and everyone is mirroring an aspect of me, your twin flame mirroring all aspects of you, but we're all pointing out places within you that were out of alignment with love and that you continue operating on. And so for me to have taken a step back and really look at that, that required what you talked about space. I took a solid probably like a year and a half of just no dating. And I wasn't so bogged down or confused or distracted with all these things of what I thought I wanted a relationship to look like. I really had to start cultivating that connection and that intimacy with myself. And by doing that, I started having higher standards for myself, but it did require having to take time of cultivating that relationship with myself and really getting clear on what a true healthy relationship looked like, because I was very aware of I had never really seen one or never really experienced one until coming into the community and seeing what it meant to take full responsibility of you and your feelings, not projecting your upsets onto other people.
A really important step that everybody's kind of touching on, and I want to put a word to, is like emotional honesty. And that starts with yourself, right? Like that projection, that we've also been talking about, that happens. Um, it's, it can happen subconsciously, but when you become aware of what you're doing, when you choose to be emotionally honest, when you choose to just really be honest with yourself with what you're feeling. And it's really, really important to not judge yourself for what you're feeling, and not try to control what you're feeling, not try to tell yourself what you should feel, but rather just be extremely honest with yourself about exactly how you feel in a given situation, because it's only when you're honest in that space that you can actually build on top of that, right? You can actually heal in that space when you fully like been honest about how you feel and admitted it to yourself.
That really is. I love that. And it is one of the eight keys of harmonious union is honesty. And so when you're able to cultivate that within yourself, you will see that reflected back to you by your divine counterpart, by your twin flame. And also it creates a solid foundation for deep vulnerability, which is also a very important relationship habit, is like being able to be vulnerable with your significant other, with those around you, with those that you really do value and cherish your relationships. There is always going to need to be that level of vulnerability and honesty in order to move through those tough situations or conversations, because not all relationships are sunshines and rainbows. I really think that the most in-depth relationships, those that are really life-changing, those that really shift the trajectory of your life and who you are at the core, are those relationships that do require the hardest conversations and the most vulnerable conversations. Because if you're not willing to give yourself a healthy relationship within, it's not appropriate to try to seek healthy relationships from other people, because you're not meeting them there. You're just still trying to take, and that is not a healthy habit of having relationships. And so, really, one of the things I've had to ask myself over a period of time of being in this community too is like, how do these relationships make me feel? Do I feel energized, and do I feel loved and safe when I'm in the presence of these people, or do I feel drained and taken from and tired after I'm done? This has really helped me get clear on if a relationship is healthy or not, and if there's something that I need to do in order to heal and shift, and maybe they're just mirroring back to me a projection that I'm not aware of. But it does come back to that emotional honesty, really having to ask yourself, how does it make you feel? And there has been some relationships in my family that felt really heavy. And then when I started to use the mirror exercise and feel my feelings and really go deep into those places and shift within, those relationships started to shift and they started to feel much lighter. And there was really an equal give and take. We were both growing from the relationship. And then there was other relationships that revealed themselves through doing the work of the mirror exercise. And it was very clear that that relationship was only there to take or get whatever they could and like use my energy in the way that they wanted to. And that required coming back to having healthy boundaries and saying no to that.
Yeah, I think you're touching on something really important, which is that learning how to cultivate a healthy relationship, especially, manifesting true love, that really requires a transcendental shift. A lot of the times, like we exist from a space of kind of like that attitude of like every man for himself, because that's kind of what society um, teaches you. And you really need to learn how to cultivate this energy of recognizing that we're all connected and that, this union consciousness, so to speak. And I think that that's what, the Twin Flames Universe body of work helps you with. It's to me essential in being able to truly cultivate that. And that includes Twin Flame Ascension School, life purpose class, working with a coach. All of these pieces go hand in hand in order to support you in really setting a really strong foundation for yourself in the way you approach your relationships.
Yes, I do love, and every time I watch the classes, it's just so perfectly orchestrated by the divine that each student speaks perfectly at the time to your blocks and to your, experiences and to your everything that you're feeling. And how is that possible? It's because we're one. And that's why the classes are so important. And, and for me, it's like my go-to. And then the class takes me exactly to the place that I need to heal. And suddenly I just feel lighter and I'm, smoking that treadmill, like, because I'm just feeling so good. I'm no longer feeling heavy. And it's just a support that is always there. It could be 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning when your coach is not available and you don't even realize, you're feeling a certain way and it just leads you to that feeling. So for me, it's definitely just an awesome way to self-help and self and love yourself.
And I also love you touched on like going into that space of with life purpose. Like I think that's another thing that a lot of people don't recognize is in order to go deeper into your life purpose, that requires connections. That requires having to really relate because you're sharing your gift. You're sharing your soul's purpose and the way that you're designed with the world. And that requires having a healthy relationship with your creator and being able to trust that you can share yourself, having that healthy relationship with yourself.
I just feel like sharing that as you're learning healthy relationship habits and loving yourself with them, your exercise, then you get more clear and grounded in who you are. So then from that place, you can release people from your life that no longer belong there because it was very unhealthy. So once you take responsibility for your actions and your experience and you love yourself and you're able to feel your feelings and feel good and feel peaceful and you check back in into that friendship, like I've had many friendships on this journey that I had to release because the only reason they were in my life is because they wanted my energy and everything that I was giving because I was not giving them from a healthy place. And it was just naturally just like vibing out and realizing that every time they were reaching out to connect in an unhealthy way, now I can trust myself to know that I will no longer give this person my energy and they just naturally vibe out without any drama.
Yeah, what you touch on there is really powerful is learning how to say no. If it doesn't align with your core values or what really feels good to you, it's absolutely okay to say no. And you will really find those who truly value you and who respect you and honor your boundaries. They will absolutely, they won't fight you on that. They're like, okay, like that's what they said. I'm going to honor that. I'm going to respect that. So that's really powerful. All
Yeah.
right. Well, I hope that you guys were able to receive just whatever you needed to hear at this moment when it comes to starting to cultivate a healthy relationship habits with yourself and with your twin flame and really with life. And if you're needing more support, definitely check out twinflamesuniverse.com. You'll find amazing ascension coaches there. You'll also find really great resources just to help you go all the way all in with your twin flame union and with your life purpose. And for those that are watching on YouTube, definitely don't forget to like and subscribe. And just thank you for joining us today. Thank you, ladies, for being here. And I hope you all have a blessed day. We'll see you next Friday at our live at this time.